Hey y'all, welcome to Boundaries and Grace. Tension begins mounting in your relationship when you get the sense that you're really growing as a person, but you're growing further apart from your person, or you're becoming way less attracted to them. Hi, my name is Taylor Chandler. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a personal development coach, helping people who want to be the best person and have the best relationship. It's a two-in-one, and there are three ways to do it using my SER framework. If you relate to the tension I just described, you may be in the high low dynamic. Through the lens of my SER framework, I'm going to lay out what happens when a person with high levels of self esteem, energy, and responsibility, that's the SER, high levels of self esteem, energy, and responsibility, pairs up with someone with low self esteem, low energy, and low degree of responsibility. There are a few points we need to adopt before moving forward. Number one, the high must be high in all three, S and E and R, to be considered a high. The low must be low in at least two out of the three to be considered a low. High and low are on a spectrum, just like temperature is on a spectrum. When you get high enough, you're considered high. When you get low enough, you're considered low. Just like when water gets hot enough, it's considered hot. When it gets cold enough, you consider it cold. SER is not a binary framework, but it is a way to categorize and identify. It's a way to gauge someone's essential qualities and measure if there are enough of those qualities to create a highly synergistic relationship. Just like if you're trying to boil water, the question isn't, is there water in the pot? The question is the water hot enough to boil, right? So a question is not, does someone have self-esteem, energy, or responsibility? The question is rather, how much of any of those things does that person have? Is it enough to be considered high? Just like, is water hot enough to boil? In this video is probably going to be watched by the high SER and sent to the low SER to help themselves. If you have a high SER, you most likely have truly realized that there is only one way for someone to be saved, and that is when they save themselves. You understand that the other person must make a choice and step into it by their own will. So I'm going to talk through this video as if I'm talking to the high SER person. I'm going to call you the high from here, understanding that to low SERs, the low, it's going to sound like we're having a chat behind their back. Okay. And that's one of the difficulties of being in this type of relationship. As the high, you can really only feel safe to talk about the reality of this relationship behind that person's back. Okay. It's not funny, but a low regularly takes things the wrong way or just rejects the message completely. So um, I'm saying that just with some compassion for you. I know it can be hard, understanding how to navigate that. And if you like the person and you love the person, you don't want to hurt their feelings, and you don't know if it's your place, and you don't really know how to go about it, and all of these things. So I have compassion for you there. And I'm saying this to you because this is not about being superior to someone. Like, this video is really about, how do I actually make this work with someone? You're someone who, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're someone who believes in the potentiality, the potential of every human. And you have this sense that if someone applies their will to getting better, that they can get better. And that's not about believing you're superior to someone, but I should say not but and I should say and it's not about being superior to someone. It is about having better outcomes than that person. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean we are a better person, it doesn't mean you are a better person, but I am getting better outcomes than this person. And in this case, my partner, I want you to get better. And at the same time, I don't think less of you. That makes I know that it can be difficult for people to hold both ideas at the same time. I don't think less of you. I actually think so much of you that I believe that you can improve some really significant areas of your life, and it's going to make a really big positive impact. So anyway, let's keep going here. Highs, talking to the highs throughout this video. Highs, let's first talk about the reality of how you got here. If you're in a high low dynamic, this happens one of four ways. Number one, you both started low, but then you got better. You had some sort of revelation that you needed to take action in order to make a positive change. Number two, you're actually both low. Okay. The ways that they're low just really bother you, and you just don't see your own issues. The most nefarious version of this is the person with the hero complex or the savior complex. This is the person who really comes off as a really good person, a good friend, a helper, but really has low self esteem and tries to buy people's love through pleasing them, appeasing them, conceding to them, outright avoiding conflict altogether because you can't stand the thought of someone disliking something about you to your face. People don't see that darker side of you, they just see the pleasing part, and you need to work on that. This video isn't for you, but this was an opportunity for me to call that particular issue out. Okay. And oftentimes, y'all, I've said this so many times, oftentimes you're not reading yourself properly. I think you should get checked out. Uh, I know it helped me. There are two other people to bring attention to before moving on. Number three, somehow that other person tanked. Like they could have been unemployed for an extended period of time, had a death in the family or a medical diagnosis, something really like destabilizing, and that shot them down while you stayed up or got better. Okay, number four, another way this high low dynamic comes about. Number four, you recently met this person and you're very attracted, but you see that they have a ton of work to do. And you're trying to see if this is something you should work out or if you should cut your losses. I'm going to pretend you're a number one, someone who has sincerely worked to get high and now has an attachment with someone who is low. So let's talk about what to do about it though. If you are a high in relationship with a low, you have two options. Number one, help them grow. Number two, cut your losses. Okay, you got two options: help them grow or cut your losses. Let's dive into the first option. Number one, help them grow. And look, only do this. Don't say nobody ever told you. Only do this if you are compatible with your values, long term goals, attraction, desire. If you've applied the ability willingness model, which I'm linking in the description of this episode. I've got three ways for you to help them grow: have a plan, empower their ownership, and track your energy and emotions. Let's talk about having a plan. Talk together about the specific things that need to be worked on. Make a list of no more than 10 things. I'll show you an example of what those things might look like. Rank them 1 to 5 in the order that you'll tackle them. And y'all, I'm assuming that you're already working on your own stuff, because if you are truly a high, then you know you have to keep moving up on purpose. Why? Because we know that if you're not going up, you're going down. Again, say I gotta have check. I like to have checks throughout the throughout my content, because if you're someone who it's gonna be somebody. That's why y'all trust me. There's a reason why I'm saying this, because there's absolutely gonna be somebody watching this who is like trying to build a bear their partner, but they're not working on their own stuff. And so they're and in those cases, people are using their partners as like almost like an escape, like a distraction away from their own life and their own goals. And so they just try to build a bear a person, try to build a person. So that's why I'm saying I'm assuming you're already working on your own stuff. And if you're not, you're probably a builder. We don't need a bunch of builders, especially you're not qualified to build. Listen, y'all. Okay, I'm not going to go down that road. Okay, but I'm gonna leave it just right where it's at. If you know you're not working on your own stuff in a deliberate way, don't be trying to build to somebody else. You need to look at yourself first. That's probably one of your problems. Anyway, what else to do when you about having a plan, right? So you made the list, you ranked the list. Now go to number one and write out how you're gonna go about it. Just do that. Go to number one and write out how you're going to go about it. Do you need to order a book, research therapist? Do you need to go to the bank? I don't know what's on your list. So you need to go to your list, go to number one, and write out how you're going to go about it. Put a deadline on each thing. It sets the expectation that there's going to be accountability, follow up, and progress. So that's one way to help someone with low SER. And again, you got to look at that ability willingness model. I'm not going to go down this whole rabbit hole, but I'll only say this about it. If someone is not able and willing, ain't no amount of planning can compensate for someone's lack of competence and lack of willingness. You can't compensate for someone's lack of competence. So someone can be willing. I don't want to do this. I go down this. I got to make a whole video just about this thing alone. Someone can be willing but not able. That means they need to develop the competence, the ability to carry out the thing that they want to do, what they have will to do. Or someone can be able but not willing. They got the tools, okay? They got the access to the tools, the skill set, and the people that can help, but I don't want to do it. I lack willingness. So no amount of planning, no amount of collaboration, no amount of helping, no is not nothing can compensate for someone's lack of ability and willing for someone's lack of ability and lack of willingness. Okay, and the willingness is more important than the ability. If someone is willing, they can become able. Let's keep moving on. Second way that you can help them: empower their ownership. They are not your project. They are their own project. Empowering ownership is honoring their ability to choose what is important to them to work on and how they want to go about it. Like, do they want to do therapy? Do they want to read books or listen to podcasts? They are responsible for their outcomes, so they need to be responsible for their strategy. It's okay to suggest, but they need to be empowered to make the final say of how they go about their own personal development. Giving people space to choose is also giving space for trust to build between both of you. Third way you can help them out: track your energy and emotions. Keep a journal, track your emotions. I like using the calm feelings wheel. Are you feeling positively or negatively when supporting your person? Is it weighing you down, or is it inspiring hope in you that the relationship has a positive future? They may not be consistent or taking the work seriously, and that might be causing you to feel drained, or you may just be overdoing, or you may just be doing a lot to help them. And even though they are progressing, it's still just a lot for you to be helping them in that way. When you're noticing more negative emotions than positive emotions on a regular basis, when you're trying to help someone, take a step back and decipher what it is that you need. Do you need to move on into cutting your losses, which is what we're going to talk about next? Or do you just need to recharge? So, speaking of cutting your losses, let's get into that. When it comes to a high low dynamic, you can either help them grow or, number two, cut your losses. My two tips for how to cut your losses: first up, do it definitively. Don't do all this back and forth, keeping the relationship running on funky fumes. Okay, make the decision, deliver the decision. Number two, learn your lesson. What did you miss or ignore? If you delayed, if you delayed, why did you delay taking action? What was the impact of the delay? What is this telling you about who will truly work for you for long term, for marriage? What is it that you need to change yourself in order to help to prevent this from happening again, or to attack this earlier? uh, because sometimes something's just gone on for too long. Sometimes it's just been funky for too long, y'all. And I've been saying I was going to do an episode on preventative maintenance. I got to do an episode. I got a list right here. Let me write this right down right now, because I did a episode last season called Promises to Break, 2025 Promises to Break. So you'll find that somewhere in like January 2025. It's on Apple, Spotify, and it is on YouTube as well, where I talk about preventative maintenance. So sometimes um, people who fail to do preventative maintenance and people who fail to do maintenance early is just like a vehicle. You wait too long and it gets pretty bad. I mean, simply put. So sometimes, y'all, some things have been going on for so long in the relationship that it's beyond what people are willing to endure in order to get that thing back on the right track. Like, the mountain has gotten too high. Not only, y'all, at that point, and this is, I got to get into that in the video. I'm really passionate about preventative maintenance. So whenever I talk about it, I start going down a little bit of a detour, but I'll just say this, y'all, for those of you that are hearing it for the first time. uh Not only then, when you wait too long, something going on, you've been scared to say it, or you try to say it and it didn't go well and all that kind of whatever, something going on for too long, too damn long, for whatever reason, y'all, when someone finally just breaks and it's like, we need some help, we got to do something, one or both people are like, we got to do something. Sometimes, y'all, it's been going on for so long. Not only then are you dealing with the issue where now we need to apply the solution, but we also have to deal with the resentment, okay, that's been building up in the time that this issue has not been dealt with. We got to deal with now beliefs that have developed about your partner and beliefs that they've developed about you that are now getting in the way. Now my perception of you is off. So any solution that I apply is now being muddied. It's being impacted, negatively impacted by my perception of you, because this thing's been going on for so long that now I'm looking at you crazy. Okay, and now I got a good solution, but I don't have a good perception of you. I've got a good solution, but you got a bad reputation. Oh my goodness. So y'all, preventative maintenance is so important. So sometimes things just gone on for way too long, and it becomes too much for someone or both people to deal with. Okay, and then they just want to cut their losses. I hope that this helps you to see what you can do if you're caught in this high-low dynamic. I'll say this before I really wrap. I cannot control how people use or misuse this information. What I can do is do my best. And so I want to say this. You may, whether you're single or in a relationship, have the perception that you need to be high and the other person needs to be high in order for you to make it work. I think that that also can lead to believing that if you become higher than them, then you're no longer compatible. What a big piece I think is missing is the part where we reconcile the gap between our development, which does take a lot of patience, a lot of maturity, high level of commitment. A high level of patience, high level of maturity, high level of commitment in order to reconcile the gap. What I recommend for you, for any of us, for all of us, is that you have high standards. I want everybody to be high. I love win-win solutions. You got to understand. I think you know that by now. I love win-win. I want everybody to do the best they possibly can, but I want you to also understand this. I think everybody could benefit from learning how to be with the gap. Learning how to be with the gap. Yes, I want you to be with someone great and I want you to be great. I also want you to understand how to be when it's not great. Okay? When it's not great. I want you to know how to be when it's not great, because I really do think that there are going to be times in your relationship, okay? There are going to be times in your relationship where you recognize a gap, and what I would not like for you is you draw a conclusion based on that gap because you didn't know that there was an option to do something in the gap, or you don't know how to be with the gap. So it's very easy on the internet to talk about the conclusion, the end of the story, just the what to do. And then we miss a lot of nuance in that how to do and how to be to inform what it is that you ultimately do, the decision you ultimately make, in this case about relationships. So I'll leave you with that. I really want to know what you think of this pre-recorded video. This is a pre-recorded video. I'm doing this so that I can make shorter videos for you, because during lives, I love being in the energy and I get excited. Okay, so I want to do more content for you. I need to make it shorter. I need to do it more controlled in the pre-recorded video. So let me know what you think in the comments. That means a lot. Also, this video really came about not just because I thought it was important, but because someone put it in a comment on Instagram. So I want to know what you got out of this, what questions you have, and what you want to see more of, because I'm going to be doing more videos based on comments, because it helps me to see what's important to you. I can pull from that. If you want to work together, use the link in the description of this video to fill out an interest form. I'll send you a link to schedule a consultation. I'll be uploading models I mentioned in episodes to my website, iamtaylorchandler.com. All right, y'all. I hope you change for the better. And if you don't want to change, I wish you the best. See you next time.